Which free agent signing is the most surprising? Which is the least surprising? From Alice in Folsom.
Which free agent signing is the most surprising for the Kings? Did they sign a free agent?
Well, I'm assuming we're looking at the Kings here, and if I'm going most surprising, I don't know that there's anything that really tips the scales here, but it probably would be Harrison Barnes.
I guess the most surprising free agent signing for the Kings was Harrison Barnes, who's, I guess, technically a free agent, but also the least surprising signing for them was Harrison Barnes.
Look, the Kings were great last year. They stayed healthy. He was durable. He was reliable. It's the one starting position that you could deem as open, and the Kings had money, and so maybe there was an opportunity, and they were rumored for a lot of things, to do something different. It may not even be the wrong choice, but I guess if we're going most surprising, I would do that.
I love Harrison Barnes. I think he's amazing, and I understand what they did. I actually think it was a good value contract for him, but that was the one spot they had to really elevate the starters. I think this is going to be a lot like Monty's non-moves at the trade deadline. We look at it, and it's not exciting. Nothing jumps out, but in the end, it was tremendous. I'm talking about post-trade deadline. They were fantastic, and they held on to the 3 seed. I think Monty's biggest offseason move is just quite simply not making that many offseason moves.
And then least surprising, I'm actually going to go Trey Lyles, because I know the day the season ended, his desire to stay, I think the Kings liked him and wanted him to stay. I think his price point is good. So I would go Barnes on the most surprising and Trey Lyles on the least. And that was a really good answer.
Is this the roster we see on opening night, or will we have one or two more moves happen? From Jeff and Davis.
I think this will be the roster on opening night, is close to it. I mean, if there's something, it would be something small. I think they've got most of the spots filled, most of the money utilized.
Well, they're going to have to fill out 2 spots, so it won't. The roster we have right now won't be the roster on opening night. But I don't think that's the spirit of your question. I think you're asking, are they going to make some other crazy move? No, this is the roster I believe they're going to go with. I think the real interesting thing is this the roster that's going to be in the playoffs should they make it next year? And I think what Monty and that front office constantly do is set themselves up to be malleable, if you will, to make moves, to be in a position. They did the same thing when he was in Houston with Daryl Morey.
I think they're obviously big fans of what they've got, and I think they showed that last year at the trade deadline, and I know they were looking at some moves. I'm sure they were interested in some pieces in this offseason, but it's all got to work. You got to have another willing party wanting to join you, getting the price right, or in a trade.
They're always going to be in a position to capitalize on a distressed player or team that's looking to offload. A little bit less maneuverability because of the Sabonis extension and some of the other things, but they're in a spot to be able to do a couple things. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to happen the rest of the summer.
I would think they're going to start the season this way for sure, and if it gets wobbly at all or something feels like it's missing, then I think Monty would strike at some point during the season and or by the deadline to tweak whatever things he thinks they need to make a deeper run than they did a year ago.
Which signing outside of Sacramento surprised you the most? From Brad in Sac.
I'll tell you the move that surprised me the most, that I think is sneaky, is Marcus Smart going to Memphis. I think that is a sneaky good move.
The Porzingis, Marcus Smart trade surprised me. Really, for Memphis to get Marcus Smart, I think that was a really good move for them. And we'll see what Boston does here with Porzingis. Obviously, the desire to kind of change their roster a little bit.
But if you get a reinvigorated John Morant that learned his lesson and really reapplies himself, Marcus Smart's the exact type of guy that is a culture changer. That is a sneaky, I'll tell you, if I was betting, which I don't, 1-800-GAMBLER, but if I was looking for value on NBA futures, I don't know what the odds are, but I'll bet you there's value with the Grizzlies. I'm not saying they're going to win it. I'm saying watch out, because bright side, that could be a really good team.
And the other one, I guess we're still in the wait and see mode, is Dame Lillard. I think Dame has been so fiercely loyal to Portland. I've loved that approach. He's even argued against ring culture, and I don't think he's necessarily chasing the ring. I think he's reading the signs of what Portland's doing and probably should do, to be honest, is go younger. So that's a legend, an iconic player in this league, a Hall of Famer that's going to change teams. We've seen it, but we haven't seen it with Dame. He's been really committed to that team. So I think the fact that it seems like he'll be traded, it's kind of a surprise to me.